Welcome back. Last time we used the line st command to calculate these more advanced regression statistics. This time we're going to use them to put in a max and a min line on our graph. So first a little bit of theory. When I have a straight line, the blue line, running through a known point, that's the red point, mean of x, mean of y, and I have a gradient that I know about, I can do the gradient, remember A is the gradient equals difference in y's divided by difference in x's. What's this blue xy point up here? It's not one of the measured data points. That's a point which is going to be on my line. So x and y, if you like, are unknowns. These numbers are known, we calculated them. The gradient is known, we calculated that. In fact, the uncertainty is also known, we calculated that. So rearranging this, I can go the known gradient plus the uncertainty or minus the uncertainty, depending if I want max or min. That's an x value, which is a variable, one of the x values in my table, minus the mean x plus the mean y. Now that's the formula we're going to use to help us make the max and the min lines on our graph. Really, we don't need to remember the stuff at the top. We just need to remember that formula. So I'll just pop that over here temporarily on the page so we can see it. And I'm going to try and put that formula into these cells here to generate my max and my min lines. So I'll start with this one. Always begin with an equals. Now the bracket starts with the value of the gradient. That's that value there. Now the gradient is the same for every one of the calculations as I copy it down. I do not want that cell reference to update. Press the F4 key to insert dollar signs. Now for the min line, I would subtract. Notice I've put a number 3 in here times the uncertainty. I'm going to call that 3 my fudge factor. You'll see what it does in a moment. Again, dollar signs multiplied by the uncertainty in the gradient, that's delta A, dollar signs, close the bracket, multiply by. Now the x here is a variable. That's the value of x in this row. No dollar signs for it. Subtract the mean value of the x's, once again, fix that value, and then add on the mean of the y's, again, a fixed value. So pause for a moment while you make sure you've got that Excel formula matching the formula that's there in handwriting. Now we will copy that one down the rest of the column. Again, paste the formula to make it go nicely. Similarly for the max values. I'll just pause while I enter that. It's not letting me pause. I don't know what's going up here. Okay, here we go. I'll try pausing again. Okay, so we're back again live. That's the formula I've just entered for the max line. It looks very much like the last one, except for the plus sign here, where I'm adding the 3 times the uncertainty. Again, L2 up there. L2 is my fudge factor of 3. We'll talk more about what that's for in a minute. So we will enter, if my keyboard will let me. Why does my computer hate me today? There it goes. And we'll paste those formulas in there. Now, we're going to add these as data series to our graph. So highlight the graph, chart design, select data, add a series. The X values are the same as always. The Y values for our min line are here. Okay, while I'm at this point, I'll add the next data series. Same X values for all of them, and this Y values are the max lines. Now that was series 3 and series 4. I'll need to know that in a moment, and I'll say okay. You can see we've got these orange and grey dots appearing. I don't want the appearance of them to be like that. So I'll go up to Format, I will go to series 3, and then I'll format that selection. Once again, I'm on appearances here. For lines, let's have a solid line. Let's make it a lot thinner than that, like 1 point, and we might even make this one a dotted line. That's looking good. For the markers, I do not want markers on that. I just want it to be a line. That's good. Now we're going to go to series 4, and we're going to format series 4. It's the orange ones. So once again, we'll go to the line. We'll have a solid line, reduce the thickness a bit too far there, and make it into dots. Then the markers, and we will have no markers for them. Now that's looking pretty good. I've got a presentation quality graph going here where I could insert that straight into my report. I've got the line of best fit, I've got the data points, they each have vertical error bars, I have the mean value there. You'll notice that the max and min line are close to the extremes at this end, and it's getting crowded down there, but they are. Now, what was this fudge factor? Well, I've suggested somewhere between 1 and 3. If I put it 1, notice the max and min lines are now tighter. They're probably a little bit too tight. Statistically speaking, that's probably exactly where they should be. But in terms of our uncertainty bars, 2 is looking not bad. 3 is fairly typical. If I go too much further, you can see the error, the uncertainty lines are getting too wide now. So I'd be overestimating the uncertainties. Usually, now there's no law of mathematics to say this, but usually we work with about 3 as our multiplying factor on the uncertainty, and that gives us uncertainty lines that match the error bars fairly closely. That's definitely enough for this installment. I'll see you next time.